So, should you buy silver online or locally? A great question, my friend, and today we will be answering just that. It is important to remember, you have options at your disposal. You can either buy silver from large vendors online, local coin stores and dealers, or small-scale stores that are quite often owned by those very same local coin dealers. And an important thing to note is that there are pros and cons for each of these decisions. No one is objectively better than the other. It's all going to depend on what you want for your collection and the variety that you want to have. So I think I'll go down the list for what I imagine to be the safest option. And that's going to be your local coin dealer. First and foremost, when you're buying locally, you're actually able to inspect the coins in hand before you purchase them. Now, this is actually a really important factor because there's always a little bit of risk involved. Whether you're buying a bulk product of junk silver or a bunch of pure bullion, you're not going to be able to actually have the coin in hand to tell what kind of quality it is, what kind of condition it's in. Another benefit of buying locally is that you can actually build trust with your local dealer. By just interacting with them and being a personable guy or gal, you can gain access to some pretty slick deals every once in a while just because the person favors you over some of his other customers. Plus, the dealer you're working with will really like the fact that you're a repeat customer and value your returning business so highly because he depends on it. Also, often there's a little bit of wiggle room available when you're buying from a local dealer, whereas if you're buying online, the prices are fixed in stone, there's nothing you can do. With a local dealer, you can haggle and have the opportunity to actually get some really great prices for bullion and coins that are very close to spot metal prices. Well, don't all that sound lovely? What about the downsides? What aren't you telling me, Nick? A great question, my friend, and we'll answer that right now. The cons.
So a local dealer might not actually have as wide of a variety or a selection as some of the mega online dealers. In addition, a local dealer may not always be available to you. Depending on where you're located in the United States or whatever country you're from, you're not necessarily going to have a dealer within 50 miles of you. That's something to consider if you live out in the boonies. And lastly, I'll say that even though most coin dealers are good people, you're not always gonna be that lucky. Some of them are actually not so trustworthy and may try to scam or other things. It's always a risk. The one way that you can actually prevent or at least eliminate 99% of the risk of that happening would be to ask your local dealer if he is an accredited member or dealer of the following organizations. 1.
ANA.
American Numismatic Association.
2. NCG.
3. PCGS.
So, people who are willing to put their money on the line to join these organizations are much more likely to actually be legit people, as opposed to Craigslist Joes who are running a silver scam of some sort.
I myself have very different perspective of doing business online. When you're choosing an online dealer, it is very important to know that you're doing business with someone who is trustworthy. This is not very hard to figure out because if you search for buy silver online, only trustworthy companies actually show up at the top of the search results.
Companies like JMBullion, SDBullion, Apmex, or Apmex are industry leaders, well accredited, well established, been around for over a decade in some instances. These are the kinds of companies that you could consider doing business online with when you're trying to invest in silver coins or silver bullion. Now, some of the advantages of going with these alternatives to investing in silver are a wider variety of selection when it comes to bullion products specifically. Coin dealers in general, the small guys, are going to have more numismatics, more collectible currency, but the big online retailers have dozens or hundreds of different designs of silver bars, silver rounds, and even artistic silver pieces like silver bullets, which I find pretty damn cool. The online silver market is highly competitive. That means that you'll probably get a pretty good rate relative to what you might be able to find anywhere in your state on the internet as well. One other extremely helpful benefit of actually buying silver online is that it's shipped straight to your door. That's called convenience.
Lazy American bastards.
But the convenience comes at a price.
I fucking knew it.
You generally have to pay shipping, folks. Sorry, it's true. Most of these companies, unless you place an exceptionally large order, are going to charge you anywhere from $10, $20, or more dollars. Whether or not you're responsible for paying the insurance of your order is a whole nother issue that can raise the costs dramatically. So the advertised price may not be the price that you actually pay. And gosh, on that note, when you're buying silver from these online websites, they engage very commonly in price trickery. That's what I like to refer to as, because I think it's somewhat deceptive. When you first search for a product, again, I'll use Silver Eagles as an example, you'll find that they'll list the lowest price or as low as price as being, say, $1.80 over the spot price. And you'll look at that and you'll say, wow, that's a great deal. I'm going to click on that and buy that product. But when you actually visit the product,
when you see the product, you will be devastated to find out that you have to purchase 1,000 or more of those very coins in order to achieve that same rate. Not only that, but you must pay by wire transfer or personal check in order to achieve that rate.
Online dealers will charge you a 3, 4, or 5% premium if you're purchasing with a credit card, and that's no good. So ultimately, there are some pros and cons to either side, and it's going to be up to you to decide which one is in your best interest. There are a few sites that I'll link to below in the description of this video that can help get you started. You may be able to find a local dealer in your area. You can definitely search on sites like JMBullion and SDBullion, but I want to invite you to come to TTCoins.com to learn more about all this. I've written a great article, so I hope that you will check it out. It goes way more in depth into all of these points that I've brought through this video. And if you like this content, you find it valuable, subscribe, leave a comment below, tell me what you think. I really appreciate your feedback, and I'll look forward to providing you more value in the future. Thanks, folks.